Welcome to Cisco Live 2023, and welcome to the stage, the President of Cisco EMEA, Wendy Mars.
A huge welcome to all of you to Cisco Live EMEA. You know, the last time we were all together was 3 years ago in Barcelona. Isn't it great to be back together again? And of course, a big hello to everyone who's joining us online today. But let me start off by saying thank you. Firstly, for all of you being with me today. But also, I'd like to say that we have an amazing week planned for you. You're going to have a fantastic time. But most importantly, I would like to thank you for the trust that you instilled in Cisco, helping you to navigate these past few years and to help us to accelerate digital transformation across our region. Now, the pace of that transformation has been truly remarkable. When you look back, it's incredible to reflect on what we achieved together over such a short period of time. And since we were last together at Cisco Live in 2020, we have turbocharged digitization across many industries. From transportation to healthcare, from education to energy, to sports and entertainment, we've demonstrated what can be done digitally is being done digitally. And we've all experienced just how much digital adoption accelerated during the pandemic. Having switched entirely to remote working initially, we're now working on how do we optimize for hybrid work in many different types of environments. The number of connected devices continues to grow. I can't see that slowing down. 5G adoption is well underway, and we're starting to explore the potential for 6G. And we're evolving from digitizing manual processes to really focusing on experience, using technology to drive exceptional experiences in many different types of settings. And we're automating processes, which of course frees up time and increases productivity for all of us. And I say we, because it's all of you together in this room which is driving that change. And you know what? We're just getting started. But we all know that this year ahead presents many challenges that we're going to need to tackle. We have a war in our region. Security risks are increasing exponentially, and that's partly due to the geopolitical turmoil. The economy is challenged, and in many of our countries, and we have inflation at 40-year highs. We also have an energy crisis, a crisis that we're trying to manage as citizens and within our businesses, whilst we're feeling increased pressure on sustainability and a need for all of us to play our role there. And a supply chain, of course, continues to be challenged. And we have to make sure that we remain focused on the skills agenda, because we face a growing digital skills gap in our societies. But despite the scale of these challenges, we have a lot of opportunity and untapped potential. But none of us can do it alone. When we come together, all of you, our customers, our partners, our ecosystem, system, and governments, we can achieve incredible things. Together, we are building an inclusive and sustainable future for all. And I know that we are all in on that. You know, at Cisco, we have made some strong commitments to net zero. And I know that we're working with many of you on your sustainability projects too. As an example of this, you will hear from Enel today on what they're doing within the energy sector. And this Cisco Live event has a huge focus on sustainability, and we're working to make it one of our most sustainable events yet. And in the fight against cybercrime, We're sharing threat intelligence to appropriate parties to make sure that we help to protect our customers, our citizens, and our countries. And that's including where stakes are at their highest. And across the region, we're working on country digitization projects where governments and businesses are coming together to level up in so many ways. And we've been involved recently in major events with COP27, the Football World Cup, and more to come. But also, we've been working on with the Olympics project as well in Paris 2024. Sports and entertainment is a real area of opportunity for digitization across the region of EMEA, as you'll hear in the examples from City Football Group later today. And finally, the talent and the skills needed for digital transformation are top of mind for us all. We need to make sure that no one is left behind. I'm incredibly proud of our Network Academy program, which has been running for 25 years, helping millions to gain the skills that they need in the area of IT. And you know, it's not just networking, it's IoT, it's cybersecurity, and many other areas as well. And we'll continue our investment in this for decades to come to upskill millions more. And I couldn't talk skills without talking about Cisco certification. I know personally the value of the CCIE. When I achieved this 25 years ago, not only was I relieved, but I was also incredibly proud. And I know that this has served a great foundation for my career, and I know it has for many of you too. So this really is a world of opportunity open to us all. Skills is so important. Now, I'm also incredibly proud of our people and the work that they do with all of you. And I know in so many cases, our teams are an extension of your teams. And that's the way that it should be, because we're all in it together. And that is a privilege that we don't take lightly. We're working to do our best to be the most strategic partner that we can possibly be. Transformation is not easy, and it's so important for us all to make sure that we transform to stay relevant. And we're all doing that within our respective businesses. By sharing what we learn, by listening to each other, we can help each other with our own respective transformations, no matter whatever stage you're at within your business. You know, we've organized our engineering teams around the areas that are important for you, and we listen from an innovation perspective. And we're so excited to share today and throughout this week news around technology innovation. And we'll be talking to you about that in emerging technologies, networking, security, and collaboration portfolio overall. And we'll be sharing many examples of successful projects where we're bringing these initiatives to life. And we're doing this together because it's all about delivering value, which makes a difference that counts. And that's the power of a team. And as a team, we're all in. And now, I'd like to welcome my friend and colleague, Liz Santoni, to the stage. Liz, come on up.
Thank you, Wendy. 3 years. I can't believe it's 3 years already. And I think in some ways, when I look about what I'm about to share with you, it feels like we've piled up a whole bunch of new things to share that with you. So I'm really excited to be here today. I get to talk to you about two things. One is around innovations that we have in market today and what's coming up in the future. Then we have a whole bunch of new things going on in full stack observability. But I get to pick three things, so I would encourage you to go out there, go to the breakout sessions, check out the demos in the world of solutions. I've got three things. I'm going to talk about the tech preview that we're doing on our full stack observability platform. I'm going to touch on application security and customer digital experience monitoring as well, because I'd like to show you how we're bringing our portfolio together, observability, networking, security, to enable these use cases. So if you look at this slide, you know, one of the biggest challenges that we have in our jobs when we talk about emerging technologies and incubation is to look at what's real and what's hype, so that we're not just chasing the new shiny object that's out there. Sometimes I look at that slide and I go, there could be a few things that's out in the future that could be the next, kind of shiny object. But we won't know till we check it out, experiment with it, and see if there are real use cases around there. Predictive was actually, not that long ago, it was a question on, would predictive really make it? But today, when you think about Thousand Eyes WAN insights, you can analyze diverse data sets, forecast potential performance issues, and recommend optimal paths in your SD-WAN environment. And by the way, in a few months, we should be able to give you that option to automate that action as well. So fabulous product. In security, and Tom's going to talk about this more, the team has been using predictive to do dynamic baselining. We do the same thing in full stack observability as well. And Javed has a whole list of items where he's going to talk about how we use NLP and large language models to be able to do features like closed captioning and meeting transcripts as well. And one of my favorite features, Javed, noise removal. Because there's always a bunch of, kind of noise in the background. So a lot of things, when you think about what we're doing with predictive, but when I think about, all of us, ChatGPT, number one, I've spent, I would say, a few hours, just futzing around with it. But at the company, we're looking at generative AI. How can generative AI enhance the use cases, our products and solutions today? And how could it build on more, from infrastructure all the way to applications? We're looking at areas such as starter code for infrastructure as code automation. We're looking at what can we do in troubleshooting. What can we do as far as data interpretation is concerned? Tom's looking at in the area of security vulnerabilities management. But as we talk about AI, it's our responsibility to also look at ethical and responsible AI. Cisco's responsible AI framework includes things like ethics, risk, security, privacy, responsibility. And when we talk about generative AI, these issues are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you add in new issues. You add in issues around copyright and plagiarism and deep fakes. It's going to take all of us coming together to make responsible AI happen. Okay, there's a lot of things to cover in full stack observability, and I'm super excited. We brought all of these together to showcase that to you today. So I was thinking, what would it take? Maybe it's Adele who can come in and sing to us, but she was not available for a duet. So I asked ChatGPT, how would Adele intro full stack observability? And I have to tell you, when I look at that first paragraph, and it talks about, hear the logs crying out, then the metrics scream and shout, that was pretty darn creative. And I looked at that and I thought, makes me want to kind of break out in song. And then I realized we want you to stay here for the rest of the keynote, so I'll save you all from that. So moving on in real life, when we talk about full stack observability, observability is for everyone, across all industries, across B2B and B2C as well. We pulled a few customer examples, from Vodafone all the way to Pirelli, around how these customers are using full stack observability. If you look at Vodafone, Vodafone talks about optimizing complex customer-facing applications to deliver the best experience. First Abu Dhabi Bank, it's all about reducing downtime and improving the mean time to repair. For all of these customers, they have a mix of applications in their environment. Everything from traditional to hybrid to cloud native. They're faced with complexity, tool sprawl, and friction between teams, but everyone's pointing the finger at the other person. And they all have common outcomes, just like you do. And those outcomes are really around performance, dollars, cost. It's around looking at mitigating risk. It's also around how do I actually minimize the friction between the teams and focus them on what matters more. And so I'm really thankful to EasyJet for allowing us to share this story around how they've leveraged Cisco full stack observability. And in EasyJet's own words, it's really about the customer experience, making sure all of their systems were working both in the front end and behind the scenes as well. From easyjet.com to everything as an airline operation that they need to do, from scheduling crews, from aircraft being scheduled, and much more. And their journey to observability started at the application, went down all the way to the databases, down to the network, down to the internet, and the user experience as well. So I'm really proud of what we at Cisco have enabled EasyJet in terms of their goal of being a data-driven airline as well. So how do we do this? We're taking a platform approach to it. And we started with this architectural approach, starting with building the platform out, built for scale and performance, providing data-driven insights to drive services tied to business context, so you're prioritizing actions that actually matter most to the business. It could be revenue, it could be cost, it could be lowering the risk, and enabling outcomes, delivering real business cases, and real use cases around application monitoring, application security, optimizing cost, optimizing the underlying infrastructure. And I want to unpack this a little bit more and get into a little bit more detail. So this week, we're doing the tech preview of our full-stack observability platform. We built this platform as open, API-driven, anchored on open telemetry, and fully extensible. The platform has flexible data ingestion from multiple IT domains and processing for multiple use cases as well. We ingest metrics, events, logs, and traces, or MELT, and streaming data from cloud-native applications and third parties as well. The platform has cross-MELT visibility and troubleshooting. By the way, you can leverage the use cases, the 7 use cases that I showed. You can build your own use cases on top of that and extend out your full-stack observability solution, and it also augments your business process observability as well. By the way, our intent is to be able to offer you a choice of UI if you want a consolidated view, but you can actually also consume this as part of your platform or set of tools via the APIs and SDKs that we've built. And I want to hit on a couple more things because I think it's truly important when we talk about what's standard in the industry. We believe OTel, or Open Telemetry, will see more adoption in 2023, driven by this need for a standard way of instrumenting, of collecting, and exporting telemetry data. Now, in Open Telemetry, while applications have taken the lead, networking and security is not that far behind. And as of December of 2022, there were about 400 contributors to Open Telemetry, and I'm really proud to say that Cisco has been #1 in contributions in Open Telemetry. In enabling business process observability, as I mentioned, we build this platform to again, bring together MELT data from multiple different domains and provide those contextualized insights tied to business context. But we do this on an application-by-application basis. And when you look at business process flows, you're bringing together multiple applications, all their dependencies, even some common dependencies like the internet for that matter. The reason for us to be able to develop this platform open and API first so that you as partners or customers can ingest the visibility, insights, and actions from what we're building into your business processes and flows, and you can quickly identify what part of the business is impacted. You can prioritize based on the business context in terms of what matters most and return the systems to a healthy state. Okay, from platforms, I want to actually go to use cases. So as I showed, we enable 7 use cases. And AppD does everything from, AppDynamics does everything from supporting on-prem to hybrid to cloud-native applications. We have a lot more coming on the roadmap as it relates to resource and cost optimization as well. But I want to double-click on application security and customer digital experience monitoring as well. With application security, our goal is to be able to protect the application, everywhere from development to runtime as well. With AppDynamics, by the way, today we do support applications in runtime. But what I'm excited to say is that this is the first time, as of a couple of days ago actually, that we've released a first-to-market business risk observability. We've integrated AppDynamics business transactions with API security, threat intel from Talos, and with Kena vulnerability scoring as well. So what you're going to see pretty soon on the screen is screenshots from the real product. By the way, if you don't know Kena, you should go check it out. It's this really cool asset. You know, one of the examples is it will give you a likelihood of exploit even when the CVSS score is low. This is a level of insight and guidance that's I don't think you see anywhere else in the industry. So using Kena vulnerability scoring plus AppDynamics business transaction, your application can now get a business risk scoring, which means you get visibility into the likelihood of exploit for your applications or the services as well. And so your applications and your security teams have now expanded out the threat visibility, and using the business context from AppDynamics can now prioritize actions. It's a risk related to impacting revenue. It could be cost, it could be user experience. So just 2 examples, along with API security, where we're ingesting, kind of a visibility around the risk related to third-party API usage. So just 2 examples on how we're bringing observability and security together, speeding up mean time to resolution, and lowering the risk profile of your organization. Going on to the next use case. So we've been hearing from you, especially as hybrid work seems to heat up even more, that you want to be able to triage issues in real time, whether it's at the user end, mobile or app, the application, internet, or third-party SaaS services. And this is why we're doing a deeper integration with AppDynamics and Thousand Eyes, sharing bidirectional telemetry data. So AppDynamics can ingest in real time network metrics and intelligence from Thousand Eyes, and can quickly identify where there are potential or actual existing network and internet problems that's impacting the performance of the application. And by the way, AppDynamics shares back with Thousand Eyes very detailed application dependency mapping as well. And here's a preview of what you will see coming up in just a couple of months. What we're doing is we're closing the internet visibility gap as the application's journeys to the cloud and or SaaS for that matter, and being able to deliver this with the customer digital experience monitoring solution. Especially as the adoption of hybrid work goes out, you can enable a much richer experience for the user. So think about it with these solutions. Simpler, faster triage, and in context of the application, breaking down the silos between the application and the network teams, because Jonathan, as always, it's always the network that's at issue most of the time. And speeding up the mean time to innocence. So you can say, it's not the network, add your favorite comment after that. So I know I went through like boom, 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 a whole bunch of things because we're super excited that we're here after 3 years and get the ability to actually showcase to you with demos and breakout sessions all the things that we're doing, whether from innovations across our portfolio to what we're doing in full stack observability as well. So please do go check out the talks, both today and tomorrow. Go to the World of Solutions. Check out those demos. The teams have been working on that. Go to our DevNet zone as well. And with that, I'd love to invite up the ever-intriguing Jonathan Davidson.
All right. Thank you, Liz. I don't know that I've ever been called intriguing before, but I appreciate that. And also, Wendy, I've known Wendy for a long time. I didn't know you were a CCIE. That's awesome. Also, from my fellow CCIE person, I am also extremely excited to be back in person with all of you here today. It has been a long 3 years. I lead the Cisco networking team that is transforming infrastructure around the globe. Cisco Networking builds the products and technologies that power the most sophisticated networks across the planet. This includes hyperscalers and service providers, public sector companies, enterprises, small, medium businesses. All that critical infrastructure depends upon Cisco for providing those unified experiences. And for end users, those unified experiences simplify technologies, it simplifies applications, networks, and solutions to go and act as one. When architected in silos, inconsistency across these domains leaves networks vulnerable and increases and frustrates security risks. Like, it's as if you're reading a book, and what you really want is to curl up in a blanket, but instead of getting that blanket, someone hands you 1,000 pieces of cloth that you get to stitch together in any way you wish. And sometimes that's what it feels like to be in IT. You're given those pieces, but in reality, you really just want to curl up with a big, cozy blanket. Now, the future of technology innovation that weaves together enterprises and cloud with the infrastructure between so that you can deliver a big, cozy blanket of unified experiences to all of your customers. Cisco's strategy for unified experiences begins with one simple vision: to simplify IT for everyone, everywhere and anywhere, and at every scale around. Simplification begins with platforms. Think about Nexus, DNA Center, Intersight, Thousand Eyes, and of course, Meraki. The platform approach is easy to start using, it's easy to scale and extend, and it's easy to innovate using the open API framework that Liz was talking about. Furthermore, enhancing that platform strategy with the power of a cloud operating model, even greater outcomes are possible. Now you can see this with the cloud-driven automation for Catalyst using the Meraki dashboard. We launched this last June at Cisco Live in the US. Our Catalyst portfolio powers the most sophisticated enterprise networks around the world and will continue to do so for many, many, many years to come. However, for many, the operations must scale more efficiently and with more agility. Now you can monitor and manage Catalyst products using the simplicity of the Meraki dashboard without incurring any additional cost, because your DNA licenses include that capability as well. Now, expanding on what Liz talked about, Thousand Eyes makes network experiences more predictable. It already enables the absolute best visibility of what's happening across the internet today, visibility into the digital experiences over the internet from any app to any cloud and user anywhere. And now Thousand Eyes WAN Insights scales assurance across all of your global networks. We are analyzing massive amounts of data, and we use AI predictive models to make sure that you're able to provide insights that improve performance, avoid issues, and create better experiences for your users. On top of that, Cisco Plus Secure Connect allows security and networking to come together and let those teams collaborate with unmatched visibility, insight, and action. As an example, deploying SASE, we are now reducing that from weeks down to hours by unifying networking and security together through a single dashboard. We can accelerate the SASE journey with all of our SD-WAN solutions and simplify hybrid work, whether your solution is Meraki SD-WAN or whether you're using the Viptela vManage SD-WAN solution. These platforms simplify some of the most advanced networks across the entire world. So please take the opportunity to experience them in the world of solutions. Now, as we look ahead, the future of connectivity has never been more exciting. 10 years ago, the world was just waking up to smartphones, and nobody really knew what it meant for all of us. Think about 10 years from now. It may be difficult to remember what life was like today. 9 out of 10 enterprise decision makers believe that wireless networking and IoT are important to their future as businesses. These technologies will absolutely redefine industries like sensors and drones and machinery when you connect them to change the world as profoundly as the cloud has done over the last 10 years. I'll give you an example. Ford Motor Company worked closely with Cisco to become a first mover in transforming transportation. The automotive industry is over 100 years old. Colossal changes are happening in that space. You have electrification, you have automated manufacturing, you have autonomous driving, and you have what we all love, these in-car experiences. Today, cars do so much more than move us from point A to point B. Cars are rolling movie theaters. They're remote offices. And yes, I will admit they are even private karaoke studios. So Liz, maybe you could join me for a duet later. That would be great. All right. So with more than 90 million connected vehicles, Cisco's IoT Control Center is the #1 communications management platform in the world. And Ford has trusted Cisco to help operations collaborate with IT to revolutionize the transportation energy. Let's take a look and roll the video.
Ford is on a mission to help transform the automotive industry. We're pushing into electric architectures, building software expertise, and driving the fully connected car experience forward. We're changing the customer relationship, so it's no longer just transactional, it's everyday.
Cisco is building a digital nervous system for the new age of information, using the network to connect, secure, and move data from sensors and the Internet of Things through edge intelligence, up to the cloud, and down to the people.
This digital transformation allows organizations, communities, and people to instantly harness the power of data to unleash new possibilities.
This transformation is so critical. That's why the city of Detroit is here to put it in human terms. For every accident, there's many more near misses. And for every near miss, there's even more safety hazards down the path. Having access to and sharing real-time data will let our citizens know when and where these hazards and risks exist today. And it will let us predict and possibly prevent them in the future. This could not only change the way that cities and roads are run, it could positively impact the environment, congestion, and ultimately, it will help save lives.
From a digital transformation, this is the beginning. We're giving voice to the machines on factory floors and vision to vehicles on the go. It gives new purpose to how cars are used and connects people when it matters most.
Imagine a world where vehicles get data from a network of sensors that are embedded in the roadways or the intersections, even buried within the concrete. Well, most of the technology is already here. This digital transformation stands to completely change the relationship with our customers, redefining our business model and giving us a path to the future. The network is key to help make this 20-year vision a reality.
All right, as Darren explained, it's a great video and a great partnership with Ford and the city of Detroit. As Darren explained, the network is critical for Ford to change how cars are built, how they're used, and how they are enjoyed. Companies like Ford, they can reinvent their products, their processes, their business models, and quite frankly, their value to all of us. They can produce a chain reaction of possibility that goes through adjacent industries, not just cars, like emergency response, shipping, and of course, cities like Detroit. Now you can go visit the World of Solutions to see the Cisco IoT operations dashboard, which enables you to deploy and maintain IoT assets by providing a detailed inventory of those assets that are connected and help you call out potential vulnerabilities, just like Liz was talking about. You know, Cisco also provides leadership around industrial IoT for mining, manufacturing, hospitality, healthcare, and more. We actually have been #1 in connected utilities for the past 4 years. And I am so grateful to have Vincenzo Ranieri, who's CEO of distribution at Enel, here today as a first mover in the industry sector. Please help me in joining Vincenzo to the crowd. Great to have you on board.
First of all, good morning to this amazing Cisco family. My first time, but I'm really impressed.
Well,
it's a huge family. It's a big family.
We're super happy to have you here. Thank you for taking the time. You actually flew in this morning just to be here with all of you today.
Yeah.
Very grateful for that. You know, you have been, Enel has been recognized as one of the world's most progressive energy suppliers in the world. You're pioneers in installing Italy's first wind farm, first solar power station, and the world's first smart meters. So you're really cutting the edge. So what does the future of energy really mean to you and Enel, and what are the challenges that you're facing with power grids today?
Well, definitely the future, as we see as Enel, but I think that now finally it's a common future that everywhere in Europe we see, is the energy transition towards a decarbonized production, where, and it's even more important, and I think that here is the perfect place to discuss about, where finally customers start to become active actors of the energy market. I can bet that none of you have ever a clue how to deal with their energy budget. For us, energy is like a commodity. It's like a bill. We have to pay full stop. Is there a possibility to make even final households able to participate actively? That's our idea. Of course, to do that, we had to start many years ago with our platform strategy. That's something that you cannot invent by chance in a while. You should start in advance. And a group that is quite huge everywhere in the world, we moved to full cloud at the beginning of 2019. And that was a cornerstone for our strategy. Basically, the idea is that how, through digitalization, we can connect services and devices that can interact each other in order to reshape the energy, the entire value chain, from final provider to technological provider to us, generation, and then final customer. It was possible with the idea to redesign an ecosystem that must be secure. And once we talk about security of supply, I think that Europe is experiencing how much, as you said, critical are the infrastructure in this very moment in the entire Europe. So we have to be secure, reliable, and sustainable energy ecosystem that must be, at the very end, but probably the most important, cost efficient for the final customer. That is the strategic priority that all the member states are having in this moment. Of course, infrastructure are per se the natural platform that nobody so far has think about the network, the infrastructure as the normal platform. So every time we talk about the white goods as a platform, we are a platform, at least for three main reasons. First, because we are the most advanced infrastructure that the human being developed since the beginning. So network electrical grids are the most advanced in the world. Second, even the ecosystem is moving from a centralized system with huge, large fossil fuel power plants that were serving customers. Now we are completely reshaping the energy system because we have hundreds, I would say millions of small producers that are connected to distribution network. Think only that in Italy, only in Italy, we have connected active in this moment while we are talking 1.2 million small producers, just in Italy. The question is, well, wonderful, we have new renewable resources, and we like that, we want that for sustainable reason, but how complex is the management of the operation of the network? The world is changing because renewables are very nice, but are unpredictable. And here is the point, here is the challenge that we have as an infrastructure operator, how to reconsider, redesign the management of the network. And of course, there are three answers. The first one, that is the most, the priority one, we have to strengthen our infrastructure. We have to invest in new infrastructure, even because we are a multiplicator of GDP in every country. Second, and this second is a condition, a factor of success for each of us, is we have to reinvent or re-digitalize the infrastructure. We have finally to move to the smart grids. You can even triple the investment, but without digitalizing the infrastructure in terms of management, active management, you will never succeed in managing millions of power plants that are spreading everywhere in each single core in Europe. And third, of course, to understand what does it mean to use a line that so far has been a vector of electrons only, now is vector of data. The smart meters that we are installing in Italy, we are at the second generation in Italy. With the due respect for the other DSOs, we are at the second generation. But this wonderful object is able to manage every year 700,000 billion of data per year. Wow. Think how much value is behind those numbers, behind those data, but the point how to manage with advanced analytics, this kind of data. These are the three challenges that we have in front of us.
I love it. I love how you talk about having this as a platform for additional capabilities, and the scale to which you're talking about is utterly phenomenal. So clearly, technology plays a critical role along with going through digitalization for the energy sector. Tell me, what specifically, how are you using technology to drive sustainability? Obviously, energy is top of mind, I think, for everyone here in the room. How does that work for you, and how are we collaborating together?
We started silently in 2014, when none was betting on smart grid. The first time I was talking to smart grid to European institutions, they were laughing. It was something that they were ignoring. You were one of the few that was trying to support our idea of smart grids. And we decided to make a project at regional scale in the southern Italy, where a lot of renewables were installed, with the idea that how we can maximize the production of renewables. Because again, many times, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in USA, the problem is so-called curtailment. There is a lot of wind, a lot of production, but infrastructure is not able to absorb all the production. And basically, it's an opportunity cost that we are giving up. The solution was smart grids. Because the idea of smart grids is to overcome the segregation between IT and OT. Yeah. Never more. Smart grids imply that IT and OT are managed together in order to consider the network as an active management system. Yeah. We are not anymore passive. We have to manage. What does it mean, manage active management system? We have to modulate all the electrical flows in order to maximize the production. This is an indirect impact of sustainability. The other important is that we are providing an essential service. And if we think what's happening now in Europe, we more than realize that electricity is vital for every economy. Yeah. What we have to do, we have to maximize the quality of service to final customer. We have to have 100% of delivery in each single second of the day. This is possible thanks to smart grids.
That's fantastic. Well, I wish I had 20 minutes to go up here and talk through all of you. It's been absolutely great partnering with you over since 2014, and we really look forward to continuing to help you as you continue pushing things forward. I just want to thank you one more time for coming up here. Thank you, Vincenzo. Great partner. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. This is another impressive example of going all in with a digitalization strategy to totally redefine an entire industry. But we acknowledge that transformation is big, it's bold, and quite frankly, with a lot at stake, it can be downright frightening. Cisco is here to help you reduce the time, the cost, and the risk with the transformation that's happening in your business. As industries are modernizing, the world will depend on the internet more than ever before. Unfortunately, there are 3 billion people around the world who are either underserved or unconnected completely. And being on the wrong side of the digital divide means that you can have crippling effects that only compound over time for those individuals. And we are here to create an inclusive future for all. And so we must transform the economics of the internet. Cisco's advancements in software and silicon and systems allow us to redefine the economics of the internet. Routed optical networking cuts the cost of building and operating networks in half. And in fact, we are confident those figures will improve over time with new additional investments in Silicon One. In fact, here in Europe, Deutsche Telekom is saving 90% in their IP core network from a power perspective than they were from the prior generation of their core IP infrastructure. And we also are now utilizing Cisco Silicon One both in the Catalyst portfolio as well as in the Nexus portfolio to go and enable sustainability to be further enhanced in those places in the network as well. Cisco is all in on simplifying IT everywhere and at every scale. That includes not just power plants and car factories, but also in our homes. And for many, including Cisco, hybrid work is critical to our business strategy because attendance is no longer a proxy for productivity. That requires enhancements and investments in collaboration and networking, security, and in devices. To tell you more about hybrid work with Cisco, I'd like to welcome my good buddy, Javed Khan, up to the stage.
Thank you, Jonathan. So here we are in 2023, and as Jonathan said, it's all about hybrid work. So how's hybrid work going for all of you? Going okay? Actually, let me ask a few questions. Let me see a show of hands. How many of you are offering free pizza or food to get employees back in the office? I think I see a few people raising their hands. How many of you are actually tired of your boss trying to get you back in the office by offering free pizza? Right? A lot. Now, some of this doesn't surprise me because hybrid work is still an experiment that we are all still learning from. And that's because hybrid work is both harder and different than how we worked in the last couple of years. Right? You need to rethink your employee experiences. You need to rethink your workspaces. And you must think about the new security attack surface, which seems to be expanding. So today, Tom and I are going to show you how Cisco can help solve for this. So as Jonathan mentioned, hybrid work cannot be solved in isolation. It requires cross-functional thinking. IT teams need to think about the tools that they need to support, manage, and deliver hybrid work experiences. HR needs to be involved with hybrid work because it's about who you are as a company. It's what your culture is. And facilities needs to help you reimagine what your office looks like. So to be clear, hybrid work is not just about collaboration software. Collaboration software cannot solve this alone. It requires a holistic approach across networking, security, collaboration software, and hardware. That is the future of work. So what is Cisco doing to help address hybrid work? We are working on solution in 3 major areas. Firstly, we are reimagining workspaces everywhere, whether that's the home or the office. Second, we are optimizing collaboration across your ecosystem to enable new kinds of interactions. And finally, we are focused on making sure that your entire enterprise is protected end to end. So let me first start by talking about how we are helping our customers reimagine their workspaces. Now, we all know campuses and offices are going to change forever. You're going to need new and different kinds of collaboration spaces. Conference rooms are going to require new kinds of configurations, and they are all going to need to be video-enabled. You're going to have fewer dedicated spaces, and you're going to need new devices for open spaces, for hoteling. And at home, people are going to want the same or better experience than you have in the office. So how do you do this? That is what we've been focused on here in the collaboration group. We've built a whole new set of purpose-built collaboration devices. For the home, you could just use your headset and your camera with your laptop. Or we've got purpose-built devices like the Desk Mini, Desk Pro for advanced experiences. And for the office, we've always had a rich set of video collaboration devices. Now we've expanded that portfolio to include devices not just for the small and the large conference room, but new devices for open spaces and ideation spaces. Now, when you combine these devices with enterprise-grade connectivity across Meraki and DNA Center platforms, you get world-class experiences both for the home and in the office. Now, that's not all. We've taken this further. Our devices are interoperable with all other major platforms. They work with Zoom, they work with Microsoft Teams, Google Meet as well. Now, I know some of you are going to say, wait a minute, Javed, but I've got Microsoft Teams. But you know what? We still love you. That is why we just announced Cisco devices support for Microsoft Teams Room natively. So this gives you a choice, right? You can use the native WebEx experience, which allows you to join all those platforms, or you can use the Microsoft Teams Room experience. And with the Microsoft Teams Room experience, you can still join a WebEx meeting. So all that powerful AI that we've integrated into our devices, the voice intelligence, the background noise removal that Liz loves, it will work with Microsoft Teams Rooms as well. So in my humble opinion, and I'm a little biased, there's no real reason for you to use any other competitor's video device equipment with your Microsoft Teams Room ecosystem. And with Cisco Spaces, we are making our offices smarter. Cisco Spaces aggregates data across your collaboration devices, and Catalyst and Meraki access points, switches, cameras. They all become sensors for things like occupancy, temperature, humidity. And this delivers great experience for your employees because they can see building occupancy, reserve a conference room, or just navigate their way around in case they're new to campus. And it's great for facilities and IT because they can optimize your real estate footprint, reduce energy consumption, and helps with sustainability. Now, we've heard from many of you. You love these amazing experiences we are delivering, but you need help setting that up. That is why we developed Cisco-validated designs for hybrid workspaces. These designs are blueprints. They're based on our own experience setting up our New York City and Chicago offices, and they include things like devices, furniture, power, lighting, and a lot more. Now, at Cisco, we are committed to helping preserve the planet for future generations. So innovations like Cisco Spaces and Cisco-validated designs help with that. But there's a lot more that we are doing here at Cisco. Let's take a look.
In line with Cisco's goal to reach net zero emissions across our value chain by 2040, we're building sustainability into our products, helping our customers reach their own sustainability targets. The first step is circular design. We strive to use recycled materials, designing products and packaging that are easy to repair, reuse, and recycle. Our products can also help customers decrease energy consumption. By using Power over Ethernet connections in workspaces, it's possible to reduce the use of energy, copper, and steel. Our collaboration devices also incorporate features that enhance power saving, while our smart workspaces include environmental controls so resources can be monitored and used efficiently. Through hybrid work tools like hot desking, we help companies optimize real estate so they can continue to make sustainable decisions for their products and their employees. With intelligent, adaptive solutions, we're powering hybrid work sustainably.
I'm really proud of what Cisco is doing here. Now, in addition to what you just saw, I'm happy to announce a preview of our latest innovation in WebEx Control Hub, Carbon Emissions Insights. It shows IT Scope 2 CO2 emissions from their collaboration devices based on usage and consumption. It also recommends ways to save energy, so you can set things like office hours and optimize and reduce your energy consumption. It also will show you a trending over time, so you can see how you're doing. This new capability will be available in WebEx Control Hub, which is our centralized management console for all things WebEx later this year. So that was how we are reimagining workspaces. Let's talk about how we are helping you optimize collaboration. Collaboration is not just about meetings. There's a whole spectrum of interactions, all the way from phone calls, brainstorming, large events like these. Some of those interactions are synchronous, others are asynchronous. And these interactions involve employees, suppliers, frontline workers, and much more. That is why we built the WebEx Suite. We announced it last year. It offers an amazing portfolio with all types of interactions. You get calling, messaging, meeting, whiteboard, webinars, events, and asynchronous video, all at a low, low price. Now, I know some of you are saying, but Javed, wait, I've got Microsoft Teams. You know what? We still love you. But here's what I'm going to tell you, that using WebEx alongside Microsoft solution can actually make good business sense. Don't believe me? Let me show you how. So I suspect this is what your Microsoft ecosystem looks like. Right? I'm guessing you've got an E3 and an E5 license, but you probably have a different vendor you're paying for calling. Your marketing department's using a different set of tools for webinars and events, and you probably have a rogue business unit or two that's using a different tool for whiteboarding and polling. And you have yet another vendor for your hardware devices. Now, my guess is that that is a lot of stuff that adds up to anywhere from $39 to $64 US, and you think it's free. But WebEx, you get all of this at a low price, roughly $12 US per employee per month. And it's all an integrated solution. Solutions you cannot get from another single vendor. This means your employees get the best experience, and that's easier for IT to manage. Now, that's not all. We took it one step further with the new Cisco Hybrid Works software offer. It brings together collaboration software, networking, and security software into one single offer. That is the value of Cisco. Now, I've spoken a lot about delivering amazing collaboration experiences for your employees, but the same WebEx platform can also help you transform your customer experiences. In the last few years, with the advancement of digital tools, customer expectations have changed. Customers expect you to be proactive. Customers expect you to deliver personalized experiences. In fact, 72% of users we surveyed wanted to engage with brands on their terms. This means meeting your customers where they are. That's things like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Apple, or sometimes just a phone call. But your customer experience mandate has not changed. You must maximize customer satisfaction while lowering cost. To successfully do this, you need both digital and human interactions. And that's exactly what our customer experience platform delivers and helps you do. So it starts with the same core WebEx platform that delivers all of the employee experiences. It forms the foundation for amazing customer experiences. It includes WebEx Connect for your digital interactions. We support more than a dozen different digital interactions. And when your customers need human interactions, we've got WebEx Contact Center. It gives agents visibility into previous digital interactions as well, so they can solve customer problems faster. Thousands of organizations are already using our platform. In fact, the WebEx Connect platform had more than 15 billion interactions last year. Now, what I've shown you today is just a part of an amazing journey we've been on the last few years, which brings me to the third pillar, the peace of mind that comes with Cisco end-to-end protection. And to tell you more about this, I'm thrilled to introduce our new leader for the security business unit and one of the best in the business, Tom Gillis. Tom?
Thanks, Javed, and hello, everyone. I'm Tom, and I am the general manager for the security business group here at Cisco. Now, I'm new to Cisco, but not entirely. So I was the founder of a company called Ironport, was acquired by Cisco many years ago. And I chose to return to Cisco because I believe that we in the industry are on a period of significant transformation. You know, for decades, the way security worked is that a new threat would emerge, and there'd be a cluster of new companies that would spring up to counter that threat. But that put the burden on you, our customers, to ingest these new point solutions. And despite widespread adoption of these new technologies, both the frequency and severity of attacks like ransomware has increased dramatically. So we've got to take a different approach. And what I've found is that if you have an end-to-end view, if you can see from the point where a user clicks on a link to the point of access to the point where an application actually talks to the data, you lay out these puzzle pieces, the patterns become very, very clear. And we can figure out friend from foe. And so this is very much the vision behind the Cisco Security Cloud. Now, we live in a world where your infrastructure is going to have 4 basic flavors, 3 versions of public cloud and 1 of private infrastructure. And this is where your applications are going to run. And on top of this infrastructure, we already have software as a service and platform as a service that is independent of those infrastructures. We think the industry needs another layer, a security layer, that is independent of the infrastructure, defined in software, but it provides that end-to-end view. And this is our vision of the Cisco Security Cloud. So it is a cloud-delivered software layer with a single login, a single intuitive end-user experience, and perhaps most importantly, a single set of telemetry that can see everything from the user click to the point of access, DNS, email, to the application interacting with the data. And so this provides comprehensive security that is built on the 5 pillars of our strategy. Network security, which is firewall and its modern derivatives, the ability to apply security at that point of access with SASE and SSE, a tool set that allows you to deliver zero trust across your entire enterprise. And more, you heard Liz talk about this, we're integrating security into the application design so we can move security further and further up the stack and move it into the, we call shift left. And the heart of all of our security is going to be around the intelligence that allows us to identify and stop these new and emerging threats. Now, we launched this concept a year ago. G2 had this vision of the security cloud, and one of the mandates was, let's make this stuff easy to use. Let's make it consumable so you can actually deploy it and realize value. And so when you look at what we've delivered, all of our products are built using a common design framework that we've inherited from the Rocky team. We call the magnetic design framework. So whether you're setting up the security module on a Meraki system that Jonathan was talking about earlier, or if you're looking at the web security controls of Cisco Umbrella, or if you're looking at the more advanced security controls of SecureX, you're going to see a consistent, clean, intuitive interface where we take this complex kind of jumble of information and turn it into actionable data that you can use to protect your infrastructure. The security cloud is built using cloud-native applications, modern techniques. It's independent of infrastructure, heavy investment and emphasis on automation, AI, and machine learning, so we can identify friend from foe. And this is an important piece. It is open and extensible, because it would be way easier for me if you would buy all your security products from Cisco, but that may not be a realistic expectation. And so we realize we have to operate in a hybrid and a heterogeneous world, which means you're going to have security products from other vendors. And we work with those other vendors to create common interfaces, common standards around data models, so that we can put these pieces together and give you that end-to-end view. What we're announcing at the show is progress in each one of the 5 pillars that we talked about. I'm just going to call out 2 areas. The first is in network security. We've introduced new, very high-performance firewall appliances. They offer very high performance levels, terrific price performance, and perhaps most importantly, we have returned to pre-pandemic availability levels, so you can get this stuff where you need it. And I know this has been a big issue. We offer secure connectivity capabilities, where we've had enhancements to the policies that we apply in our SASE and SSE. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the zero trust capabilities that we've implemented. Now, with our zero trust, we have the ability to leverage the biometrics on every major platform. So your Windows, your Apple, your iOS, your Android devices, fingerprint and scanning. We're not the only company that does that. Others do it too. But where we really shine is we take that biometric and authentication capability and we integrate it with what's almost a common sense type of policy. I'll walk you through how this works. If you're going to access, say, the corporate directory, we're going to ask you to authenticate, and we'll say, okay, great, we know it's Tom, and he's accessing the corporate directory from a device that we recognize and a place that we recognize. Once we have that authentication, if I go from the corporate directory to, say, Workday, you don't need to ask me again to authenticate. We know that these conditions haven't changed. And so we can remember that device and say we don't need to bother the user with an additional authentication. Now let's imagine I shut my laptop down and I run down the street to a coffee shop and I open that laptop back up. It's still me, still my laptop, right? So it's still Tom, but we're able to identify, hey, wait a minute, something changed. We use Wi-Fi fingerprinting to recognize this is a new network. And so we're going to ask the user, hey, could you just make sure that you really are who you say you are using those biometrics capability? And yep, it's Tom, and so we'll allow that to proceed logically. So these are policy-driven security controls that make the end user experience better because we're not constantly badgering you and asking you to authenticate. And of course, when we do this type of analysis, we're very, very sensitive to maintaining privacy. So we're not storing any location data or other privacy information. This is really fundamental to us. Now, because of the widespread use of multi-factor authentication, what we've seen is that attackers have taken advantage of what we call user fatigue, where you're constantly being asked to authenticate, authenticate, authenticate over and over and over again. And so attackers are very clever, and they found a way to slip a fake authentication into that stream where a user just clicks yes, yes, yes all the time. Well, we have an answer for that. So if you're accessing a standard app, like for example, that corporate directory, we use the standard authentication process. But if I'm going to access a sensitive application, maybe it's a source code or maybe it's Microsoft Office, by policy, we have the ability to do what we call a verified push. So we're going to ask you to say, you know what? Let's make sure it's really you. Let's take the simple 3 or 4 digit code from the computer and type it in on your phone. And that way we can verify you really are going to the application that you said you were. And so it's really around making the end user experience seamless. We're going to frustrate the attackers and not the end users. This is an example of building security controls that are easy to consume, easy to use, and have that holistic end-to-end view. So at Cisco, we are all in on building these security controls and focusing on that end-user usable experience. So, summary, Javed talked about the transformation of remote work. This is an amazing transformation that's happening all around us and giving everyone the opportunity to be part of this global economy. We're building these products with sustainability in mind, and we're building security controls that are designed for this highly distributed, remote, and multi-cloud world. And we're building in a way that you'll be able to turn them on and actually make them work. So when we talk about usability, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Adela Trombetta, who's our SVP of the customer experience for here in EMEA.
Thank you, Tom. And wow, it's fantastic to be here and to see this incredible venue, so full of interesting people, and to hear about all the amazing innovation that is coming. But as head of customer experience in EMEA, what is really exciting to me is to hear again and again that is all about the experience. This is exactly what my team, more than 6,000 people, they care about. We are all into the experience. Now, I have a question for you. Who in this room likes football? Come on, hands on, who does? Good, because I do, I'm sure that you do, and I do too. Now, my team, by the way, Napoli, is leading the Serie A, and I remember, at the moment at least, and I remember last time I was really young, and it was all about Maradona. This time I'm still young, and seems that Maradona could help us again. Now, whenever I think about football, a quote by Johan Cruyff comes to my mind. He said, "Playing football is simple. Playing simple football is the hardest thing there is." I love this quote because it reminds me what customer experience is really all about. We are living in very complicated times. Everything is changing so fast, and we can't make things easy always. But what we can do, we can make them feel easy to the people that we care about, and that makes all the difference. Think about Maradona, Pelé, Ronaldo, Messi. What do they have in common? They worked hard. They learned. They tried new things every day. And they played in a team. And the result of all of that is the beauty, the elegance that we all enjoy. They make football look easy. And back to our business. Solving complex business challenges may be hard for us, but we should always make it look simple to our customers. Now, the question is, can we simplify, innovate, transform fast enough so that all the complexity will disappear behind the experience? Good news. The answer is yes. Yes, we can do that together. You and us, we can do that. And in the next few minutes, we are going to see how. But before I go there, let me first thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing Cisco and Cisco ecosystems. Now, back to the how. How do we create the magic together? We at Cisco, we are doing three things. First, we are simplifying our offerings, combining the best of human and digital. We help you, second, we help you transform your business with our digital learning platform. And finally, we innovate with you using our bespoke solution because we want to make you future ready. Now, I could talk for hours about the how and what we are delivering for you, but I promise I will not. Why? Because for us, what really matters is you. So let's see how one of our customers has embraced the possible. Roll the video.
Let's go, City! All the way to 50 years.
Come on, you Blues! Come on, City!
This stadium is our home. Every corridor, staircase, walkway and stand. It's where we support the best club in the world, week in and week out. But did you know behind the scenes is a huge network of invisible connections at play, making everything in our stadium tick, making everything run seamlessly, and making sure match day experience is the best it can possibly be. This is all Cisco, our partner. With Cisco, all ticketing on the network runs digitally. Removing paper means a more efficient and environmentally friendly process, powering turnstile speeds and ensuring all phones are ready for a seamless access. One scan and Bob's your uncle, you're in. Cashless payments are safer and quicker. These all rely on secure connections. It's as easy as tapping on and tucking in. Cisco even extends across the ground. Car number plate recognition is all now completely automated, so there's no chance of missing kickoff. We're being guided to our seats in the most efficient way possible. Cisco helps detect overcrowding, then actively disperses the flow of traffic safely, all fully automated. Thanks to Cisco, fans are better connected than ever before. High-speed secure Wi-Fi? Need you even ask? You start wondering, what would a stadium be like without all this? It's pretty magical, really. Cisco connects stadiums. Look, even the logo's blue. They must be good.
Please welcome the Chief Technology Officer of City Football Group, Greg Swimer.
Hi, thank you very much. As you just heard, my name is Greg Swimer. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of City Football Group. It's an incredible pleasure to be here with you all today. Let me say a little bit about City Football Group. We're the world's leading owner and operator of football clubs. The group has total or partial ownership of 12 clubs in 12 major cities around the world, and you can see all the logos on the slide above and behind me. We seek to empower better lives through football. And as well as doing that, we also deliver one of the most exciting and popular entertainment products in the world. Wherever you're from, and I know there's people in this room from all over the world, many, many countries, football is an integral part of society. That tradition in most places goes back well over a century. And at CFG, we understand that. We see ourselves, we see our clubs as an integral part of the fabric of the communities in which we operate. And we work incredibly hard to be sustainable, to give back to those communities, and to work in a socially responsible way. And you might not think about connectivity necessarily as the first thing, but connectivity for us is absolutely mission critical. So it's connectivity with the communities that we operate in, it's connectivity between these 12 wonderful clubs, and it's connectivity with millions of fans around the world and those that visit our stadia. And our partner for all things Cisco, and I guess the reason why I'm here today, for all things connectivity, is Cisco. And I'm very proud to be here. We as City Football Group are very proud of the relationship with Cisco, which stretches back now over a decade. Now, the largest club in the group is Manchester City. Manchester happens to be my hometown, and Manchester City is my hometown club, my boyhood club. It's the club that I've supported all my life. I was taken there by my father going back into the 1970s when I was 5 years old. It's something that we've done together as a family, and now I attend the football with my kids, and it's something that really binds our family together, as it does many families. Manchester City play in the English Premier League. In fact, we're the current Premier League champions, and we've been champions of the Premier League for 4 of the last 5 seasons. The club's home is the Etihad Stadium, which you see here above me, and which sits on the Etihad campus in East Manchester. That campus is also home to the City Football Academy, which houses our elite training facilities for men's and women's football, and our boys and girls academy. You can see in this picture Manchester just in the distance behind you at the top left of that chart. So we're really close into the city centre. The Etihad campus, as well as all that, also contains our second stadium, the Academy Stadium. That's the home of our women's team. The women's team compete in the Women's Super League in England, and Manchester City is incredibly proud of having really played its part in the development of the women's football game in the UK. Now, most of you might, well, you won't recognise me, but you might recognise this guy behind me, Erling Haaland. Football is the most popular sport in the world. It's the most watched sport on television. It's the #1 sport on TV in 75% of major markets around the world. Within that, the Premier League is the most watched and most competitive league, with a total TV audience annually of over 3 billion. And within that, Manchester City have featured in 4 of the last 5 most watched Premier League games since 2018-19. So that brings with it a lot of people. We have over 120 million followers on our own social platforms. More than 800 million people around the world will say that they are interested or very interested or following Manchester City. So we are a club overall that demands the very best at all times in everything, and that absolutely includes technology. In 2019, Cisco became an official technology partner of City Football Group. That was Cisco's first major partnership with a football organisation in the company's history, obviously something we're very proud of. But we use Cisco's networking and other key technologies really to run and support the entire operations of each one of our clubs and across the group. And whilst the commercial relationship with Cisco began in 2019, the actual relationship with Cisco stretches back well beyond that. 2013 was the first time we really deployed Cisco right the way across the Etihad Stadium and campus in Manchester, and we now rely on Cisco technology for everything we do. So let's talk about a football match. So around 30 times a year, sometimes a bit more, we stage a game at the Etihad Stadium, a Premier League match, could be a Champions League match, could be another kind of cup game. And that means 50,000 fans coming and joining and enjoying at the stadium. We don't rest in the summer either. This last summer we had Ed Sheeran playing 4 nights in our stadium. This summer we've got the small matter of Coldplay coming for 4 nights. So, that brings with it pressure. For the technology team, it means the most intense kind of pressure. Everything has to go right. These are the moments that absolutely matter to everyone that's in that stadium, the fans, the team, and everyone that's working there. So let me tell you just a little bit about what Cisco support for us on match day. The network, first of all, the network swells to expand and house and accommodate 50,000 people that want to get connected, keep in touch with friends and family. They want safe, fast connections, and we deliver that through Cisco technology. As you saw in the video, all of our ticketing is digital, 100%, so everything relies on NFC. In the run-up to kickoff, we will be ingressing more than 1,000 fans a minute to get them all into the stadium quickly and safely. Everything has to be rock solid and reliable. Before they get to the turnstiles, many thousands will have visited our retail store. You see here our lovely away kit for 22-23, one of the most popular kits we've ever had to date, and it's powering record retail sales. Every transaction in that store, and in fact every transaction across the entire stadium, is contactless via contactless payment. We have Cisco Meraki cameras throughout the stadium. They help us monitor queue times at our food and beverage concessions, getting the right information to fans and also getting the right information to our operations team in real time. The game, of course, is carried out of the stadium on fibre and beamed around the world to the millions of people that we talked about in every corner of the globe. And then after the game, a quiet stadium again, but that's not just happened by accident. We've brought real-time information into the stadium for public transport, for our fans to help them get home. All the car parking is operated by AMPR, again, all relying on the network. So all of this is supported by Cisco technology. I've given you just a snapshot. I hope it was helpful. I know that there's an incredible number of incredible technology professionals in this room. You've all got your own fascinating challenges, every bit as important as the one that I've just talked about. But at CFG, we certainly rely on Cisco, and I hope you all have a wonderful time at this conference. And with that, I'd like to welcome Adele back on stage.
So, Greg, thank you very much. It was amazing and inspirational. I'm sure that was the same for our audience. And knowing that you will be very busy with the Champions League, that's for you. Is a good luck charm. But there is a but. This will not work if Manchester play against Napoli. Of course, will not.
Okay.
Good. Thank you very much
Thank you so
for being
much. Thank
with
you,
us.
Adele.
Thank you. And with that, I'm sure that you are ready for a fantastic close. So, Wendy, over to you.
Thanks, Adele. Thank you. So thank you very much, Adele, and thank you to all of our speakers today. I think it's been a great kickoff keynote for us. And just very quickly, a big thanks to our external speakers, so Vincenzo and also Greg from City Football Group. And thanks to all of you for being here with us this morning. So I know we've got a fantastic week planned, and I know we're running slightly late, so I'm going to go quick. I welcome all of you back on Thursday, where we're going to have a fantastic session here with a guest that we've got joining us. I'm very much looking forward to that. So please do come back on Thursday, where we'll have some strong discussion with the best referee in the world. I really look forward to it. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you all soon. All the best.